Hello, soul family. Welcome to Spiritual Manifestation. If you're new here, welcome to the channel, and if you've been with us for a while, welcome home. In today's video, we'll be diving into a love reading from your person. I'll be pulling from the traditional and oracle deck to explore how your person is currently feeling, how they view your connection, and any important messages they have for you right now. So let's jump right in and get a clear message straight from their soul to yours. All right, let's begin by pulling a card for you to set the tone for this message. And wow, we've drawn the Temperance card. This speaks directly to balance, patience, and divine timing, and it perfectly aligns with what's coming through here. Divine Feminine. I'm sensing that there's a masculine energy in your field who's becoming acutely aware of the restrictions surrounding your connection. They may not fully comprehend why this separation is happening, but they deeply respect it. The masculine energy I'm picking up on has a calm, easygoing nature, someone who embodies that laid-back, patient energy, much like Temperance itself. They're not the type to rush or force things. Instead, they prefer to let the relationship unfold naturally, at its own pace. Now, while there may be a mutual longing between you two, a quiet urge to reach out, the truth is, this connection is being orchestrated by a higher power. It's as if both of you can sense that it's out of your hands. Under this divine guidance, things might feel stagnant or delayed, but trust that this is all part of the bigger plan. This masculine understands that reuniting with you will only happen when the universe aligns everything perfectly. Every attempt they've made to contact you has been met with obstacles, almost as if the timing just hasn't been right. And this awareness is helping them accept that their next move will only be divinely timed. This is a powerful moment of trust and surrender, much like the balance of Temperance, all in perfect time. And for some reason, I'm sensing a lot of disruptions and cancellations when you and your person attempt to connect. It's as though your energies are misaligned at the moment, and something is holding you both back from moving forward. Every time your person tries to push past these blocks, the more things seem to stall or remain out of sync between the two of you. There's a tangible, almost physical energy here, which tells me this is someone you've shared time with recently, but for reasons beyond either of you, things have naturally started to slip out of alignment. Normally, these kinds of delays might spark some impulsive reactions, maybe even worry, but I'm picking up a very different vibe from this masculine energy. Instead of frustration, they're embracing a sense of calm and surrender. It's as though they've tapped into a deep inner knowing, an understanding that there's a purpose behind this slow pace, or a reason why their access to you has shifted. They're not resisting the delay. Instead, they've accepted that things are unfolding exactly as they should, even if it's not clear to them right now. All right, let's dive into what's coming through here. So instead of your person feeling confused or worried about the delays in your connection, it's actually sparking their curiosity. This masculine energy, like I mentioned before, has a very laid-back, chill demeanor, and they're incredibly understanding. Beneath that calm exterior, though, there's this deeper knowing. They sense that everything is unfolding for a reason. It's as if they can't shake the feeling that the universe is trying to send them a message about you and this connection, and they're slowly piecing together what these delays mean. Now, they definitely see you as someone they share amazing chemistry with, but at the same time, they're still feeling things out divine feminine. Their energy is coming through as someone who's not in any hurry at all. So if you've been wondering why the connection feels like it's shifting or moving more slowly, this is why. Your relationship is being guided by something far greater. There's divine timing at play here. This means your connection is highly intentional, and everything that's happening right now is taking place on a higher level. It's not something you or this masculine can rush or control. All right, let's reshuffle and see what we get here. Okay, so next we are getting lovers here. And drawing from the energy of the Lovers card, we're being guided to reflect on the depth of your connection, divine feminine. What's coming through is an incredibly profound exchange between you and this masculine, one that has left an indelible mark on your soul. On the surface, you appear to live a normal life, moving through your daily routines, but underneath, there's an undeniable bond that you carry, one that feels sacred, almost like a secret that only your soul can understand. This masculine energy you're connected to isn't just any connection. It's unlike anything you've experienced before. There's a reason you can't compare it to anyone else. The exchange between you two feels almost otherworldly, as if it exists in its own time and space, untouched by the everyday world around you. It's a rare type of connection, the kind that's hard to define because it transcends typical relationships. Since that sacred exchange, you've been energetically intertwined with this masculine, and even though there's distance between you, his presence lingers in your life. It's like a subtle, constant hum in the background, always there, always present, even when you aren't directly connected. This energy has woven itself into your daily existence, becoming something you've come to accept as part of your reality. It's almost like breathing. You don't always notice it, but it's always there, quietly sustaining you. This connection feels like a sacred, ongoing exchange of energy, something that moves beyond the physical realm and touches the spiritual, binding you both in a way that cannot be easily broken or explained. And Divine Feminine, I'm sensing that due to the profound nature of this connection, it's not something you've been very open about. In fact, this might be something you've kept entirely to yourself, quietly holding on to it without sharing with those around you. You likely feel that others wouldn't understand the depth or the uniqueness of this bond. How could they, when it's something so deeply personal and spiritually charged? You've been carrying this connection in your heart, living your life as usual, but underneath, there's this unexplainable pull towards this masculine energy that lingers in the background. For some of you, you may even be at a point in your life where you're exploring other possibilities, other paths, but no matter what you do, his energy remains ever present, like an echo that refuses to fade. This masculine is highly spiritual, and it's something you feel in his very aura. He has this quiet, almost mystical presence that makes him feel elusive, even mysterious. It's like you can sense there's more to him than meets the eye, and that air of mystery might leave you questioning his actions or the way he interacts with you. There's an energy of intrigue here, a sense that he moves through the world in ways that you don't fully understand, and that only deepens the allure. What's coming through strongly is that when it comes to connections, this masculine doesn't take them lightly. There's a reason for the way he's been behaving with you, and it's rooted in his view of relationships. To him, connections are sacred, and he's not one to engage in them casually. This is someone who moves with intention, and though his actions may seem hard to read at times, it's all because he views this bond with a level of seriousness and depth that matches the profound energy between you. Divine Feminine, this masculine energy you're connected to has a unique way of reading people. It doesn't take him long to categorize someone, and this ability is purely energy-based. He has a natural instinct for this, almost like he's effortlessly tuned into the subtle frequencies around him. If he doesn't feel a significant energetic pull towards someone, you'll notice that he becomes more reserved, keeping his true self just out of reach. It's not that he's being distant on purpose, but he has his own deeply calculated methods for deciding who gets to see the deeper layers of him. This masculine also has an incredibly smooth way of drawing information from others, and this may have left you feeling like there's an imbalance. You might have shared more with him than he's shared with you, and that could leave you wondering if you've revealed too much. It's almost like he's the sun, effortlessly drawing you in with his warmth, while keeping just enough distance to remain a little elusive. His energy is powerful yet calm, and this duality keeps you on edge at times, unsure whether you've read him correctly or if he's simply choosing to remain an enigma. Even with this hot and cold dynamic, you still feel undeniably connected to him in a way that's hard to explain, but impossible to deny. It's as if no matter the distance or mystery surrounding him, there's a thread linking the two of you. For some reason, I'm hearing the words, "I know the real truth about you." So, the next message we have here is that this masculine energy you're connected to knows far more about you than you might realize. And this explains their calm, laid-back demeanor. They're not easily shaken by the way things are unfolding between the two of you. They seem almost unfazed, and that's because they have a deep understanding of the bigger picture, one that goes beyond the surface of this connection. I'm getting a strong sense of soul contract energy coming through here. For as long as this masculine can remember, there's always been a kind of spotlight on their connections with others. This is an area of their life they never question. Even when they don't fully understand everything happening on a higher level, they've always moved through their relationships with a sense of intention. It's almost as if this is the one part of their life they trust implicitly. This masculine has encountered many feminine souls along their journey, and looking back, they see clearly that each one served a unique purpose. They've come to realize that most of these connections were tied to specific lessons, like keys unlocking different parts of their spiritual growth. Each person they encountered was there to teach them something about themselves or the world around them. And now, with you, they know that this is something far deeper, something that transcends the usual lessons. They can feel that this connection holds a truth that goes beyond anything they've experienced before. So this is the one area of their life where they've learned through trial and error that forcing anything doesn't work. And that's the exact approach they took with you, Divine Feminine. When they were guided to step back, they did so, even if it didn't align with their desires at the time. They followed this path with the quiet understanding that the reason behind it would eventually be revealed. The energy here feels like they know their life operates by a unique set of rules, almost like their journey is orchestrated by a higher force. They're very clear on the fact that if someone doesn't stay in their life, it's because they're not meant to be part of their story. In a way, this masculine has been living with blinders on, navigating life with a very focused and guarded approach for a long time. But everything shifted when they met you. When you entered their life, things became more complicated because they couldn't easily place or categorize your energy. Unlike others they've encountered, you were an enigma to them, and this threw them off balance. Because of this, they held back a lot of information, and you probably felt that imbalance. You might have sensed that you were offering more of yourself to them than they were giving in return. This naturally created a dynamic where you were open and they were reserved, trying to figure out who you were, where you came from, and why your paths had crossed. It wasn't that they were intentionally withholding. It's that your energy was so unfamiliar to them, they needed time to process it all before they could fully reveal themselves to you. Something was definitely driving them to figure you out before revealing too much of themselves. They may have asked you a lot of questions, probing gently, trying to gauge if you were on the same wavelength, wondering if you saw this connection the way they did, and you picked up on this divine feminine. You started to mirror their energy, reflecting back the same effort and openness they gave you. You became their mirror, matching the amount of information they shared, step for step, giving them just as much as they gave you. Naturally, this caused things to slow down in the physical world, creating a kind of distance or pause in the 3D. But beneath the surface, things have been moving swiftly in the 5D. While you've been apart, the spiritual connection has deepened, and that's why you felt their energy so intensely. They've been thinking about you nonstop, realizing this bond goes much deeper than they initially expected. Where they are now, they've come to understand that this is no ordinary connection. It's a spiritual contract overseen by a higher power. The way your connection is unfolding may feel different for each of you, but there's a divine purpose behind it all. And soon, the deeper meaning of this connection is going to be revealed. The masculine energy you're connected to is drawn to you not just because of surface level attraction, but because they can feel that you're someone uniquely significant to them. It's as if their soul was seeking confirmation of this, a deeper truth beyond the physical. They weren't so much trying to uncover who you were as a person, but rather, they were searching for insight into your soul. The energy I'm picking up on here is incredibly deep, almost like they're operating on a different wavelength than most. This masculine is intentional in everything they do, and they come across as someone who doesn't entertain frivolous connections. There's a strong, no-nonsense vibe to them, and I'm also getting a sense that external energies could have been at play here as well. What's intriguing is that the way you experience this masculine, divine feminine is vastly different from how others perceive them. To others, they may seem emotionally distant, closed off, or rigid, but with you, there's something softer, something more open, even if it may not always feel that way. While you might have felt a bit of imbalance in the emotional exchange or the way they've shared information, the truth is, what they've offered you is far more than they've ever given anyone else. This is someone whose energy can come across as firm, grounded, or maybe even laid back, to the point where it's hard to penetrate their emotional barriers. They're not easily swayed, and they're certainly not quick to let people into their inner world. The biggest realization they're having now is that they couldn't control the pace at which everything between you two was meant to unfold. The universe has been guiding this process all along, and it's only now that they're starting to see that. What's happening here is a lesson in the alignment of souls, a gradual process of coming to know one another on a much deeper spiritual level. This connection wasn't meant to be rushed, but rather revealed piece by piece. I'm going to reshuffle again and go into the traditional tarot card deck. All right, let's pull a card for this message, and we've drawn the Hanged Man. This card speaks directly to pause, reflection, and the need to see things from a new perspective, and it ties perfectly into the energy coming through here. The message that's coming through is, I can't even look at you. You'd expect that once this masculine received the confirmation about your significance in their life, they'd rush towards you. But instead, it's like they've hit the brakes. All of this newfound information about your connection is making them stop and reflect. It's as if they feel blindsided, almost like they were the last to realize the depth of this bond. There's this feeling of them questioning not only themselves, but also their higher power, wondering why they were kept in the dark for so long and why everything played out the way it did. This pause, though, is highlighting something important. This connection is incredibly authentic. It's showing both of you things you may have overlooked. For this masculine, it's brought up the patterns they've been following for so long. In their past relationships, they had a routine. They approached every feminine energy in the same way, treating each connection with a similar mindset. So when things with you began to slow down or phase out, they didn't question it at first. They assumed it was just another fleeting connection, part of the pattern they'd always known. But now, they deeply regret not seeing the truth sooner. The Hanged Man reminds us that sometimes we have to surrender to the process, to allow ourselves to see things from a different perspective. That's exactly what's happening here. This masculine is in a state of reflection, realizing that this connection with you is unlike anything they've experienced before. They can't rush it, and they certainly can't approach it the way they've handled past connections. This is something deeper, something that requires them to pause, reflect, and realign with a new understanding. Now, they've come to the realization that their next step involves facing you in some significant way. With this newfound understanding of how the universe works, they feel certain that divine timing will align your paths once again, whether it's through a seemingly random encounter or a situation that brings you two back together. They just know that when it happens, it's going to be intense. They're fully aware that the choices they've made in the past have shaped how you may currently perceive them, and that's weighing on them heavily. Right now, they're feeling the pressure to get into alignment with you once more. They're processing a wave of emotions, imagining what it will feel like to sit across from you, to look into your eyes again. The anticipation of that moment is enough to make them pause. It's not hesitation out of fear, but rather the weight of knowing just how much this reunion means. They can sense the momentum building behind this connection, almost like an unstoppable force pulling you both closer. But at the same time, they're grappling with a bit of apprehension about the physical aspect of it all. On a deeper level, they know that there are lessons intertwined with this connection, spiritual growth that they're meant to embrace. but the idea of stepping back into the physical world of your relationship has them treading carefully. They've accepted that they're not in control, and it's this surrender to divine timing that's allowing everything to unfold exactly as it should. Now, they're not just seeing you as the divine feminine, the person they're interested in, the one they align with. They're beginning to view you as a soul with the power to influence the flow of this connection. They recognize that the higher energy surrounding your bond can make things stop or move forward, and they're finally tuned into that. So if you've been wondering whether they truly understand who you are, or if they've tapped into the spiritual essence of this connection, the answer is yes. They're seeing the bigger picture now, and instead of viewing themselves as separate from you, they see you both as part of a unit. Even through the distance, they're beginning to understand that you're a team, spiritually bound, and this realization is something they're still processing. This shift is definitely happening in the 5D, so if you're feeling their energy intensely right now, it's because there's a spiritual merging going on behind the scenes. The momentum is building, and although this masculine has surrendered to the timing of the universe, they can feel it. They understand that they no longer have control over how or when this will unfold. Yet the energy surrounding your connection is growing more powerful, and they sense the anticipation building as well. There's an undeniable pull between your souls, especially in this moment, and it's becoming harder for them to ignore. You're both feeling this magnetic draw toward each other, almost as if your spirits are reaching out across the distance. This masculine is in a state of reflection, thinking deeply about how this will all play out and preparing themselves for what's to come. And wow, I'm getting Tower next here. This card represents sudden shifts, awakenings, and moments of intense realization. Exactly what's coming through in this message. And I keep getting something about energy, perhaps something about energy triggering this divine masculine. The Tower shows us that these triggers aren't small, they're transformative. I'm sensing a dual energy here, as this is something both you and your masculine are experiencing right now. If you were both to be completely honest with yourselves about where you are mentally and emotionally, you'd realize how much you're both being stirred by this connection. The emotions rising to the surface might feel intense, even uncomfortable, but this is a natural part of your journey together. What's important here is that this triggering energy isn't heavy in a negative way. It's more like a catalyst, something that's pushing you both into deeper levels of healing. These moments of discomfort are leading to profound growth, breaking down old patterns and beliefs, much like the Tower dismantles what no longer serves. So if you're wondering how your person is feeling about you right now, know that you've become their trigger, but not in the way you might think. Everything you do seems to have a direct effect on your masculine, more than you might even realize. Every action, every word, every vibration you send out is felt intensely by them, especially now that they've awakened to the truth of your connection. I'm also picking up a sense of a clean slate here. It's as if everything in their life feels new or fresh in some way, a sign that they've undergone a massive spiritual awakening. And while this is just one of many such awakenings on their journey, it's a powerful shift that's setting the stage for what's to come. This connection has shaken them to their core, just like the Tower shakes the foundation. But it's all part of the transformation that's unfolding for both of you. It's almost like Despite the physical distance between you, the energetic bond between you two is growing even stronger. The cord that connects your souls is becoming more visible, more tangible, and with that, all of your emotions and energies are starting to rise to the surface. Your person is beginning to see this connection for what it truly is, so much more than just a relationship. This separation, though triggering for them, was necessary. It had to reach their emotional core, forcing them to confront the deeper truth about you and this bond. All right, let's pull a final card to guide this message. Okay, and we've drawn the Wheel of Fortune. This card is all about destiny, cycles, and divine intervention, which perfectly ties into the energy coming through here. The message here is powerful. You were chosen. Your masculine wants you to know that the universe itself has placed you on their path for a reason, almost as if you were handpicked by a higher force. It's not just that they chose you, it's that the universe chose both of you to come together in this lifetime. They feel that your connection is part of their destiny, something written in the stars long before you even met. The way everything has unfolded still surprises them, and they're slowly realizing that this isn't just a coincidence, it's fate in action. This masculine knows that their life has always had a specific purpose, and they've lived with that awareness for a long time. They're cautious about who they let in, always mindful of their higher purpose. But when it comes to you, Divine Feminine, they feel a sense of calm and peace, as if you were the missing piece they've been waiting for. It's as though they instinctively know that you were chosen for them by the universe to walk this journey together. Even though they may still be figuring out their next steps, they are fully aware of what you represent in their life. They feel deeply that you were meant for them and that their connection with you is tied to their soul's purpose. This realization that you were chosen by the universe to be in their life is something they are beginning to embrace, even though it raises many questions for both of you. But what's clear is that this connection is shifting everything. It's more than just a relationship. It's a divine alignment of the divine masculine and divine feminine in the physical world. Together, you both carry a powerful energy that's altering not only your individual paths, but also your shared destiny. The universe has chosen this moment, this alignment, to bring you both together. And with that comes a tremendous sense of purpose and transformation. Okay, this feels like a perfect place to wrap up the reading. The connection between you and your masculine is truly something special, and it's clear that the universe has aligned everything for a reason. Trust in how things are unfolding. Everything is happening in its own divine timing. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next reading.